experimenting with different ideas, so how we could just construct it. This is like a bug if you wanted it to climb. This is like a whole rocket ship design. And this is a triangle because I thought that might work with the solar panels and it might be able to attach.
And then the second phase, once you do understand what the problem is to think of a whole bunch of creative ways in which you might go about solving it. That's the so-called conceptual design phase. Essentially, what are some approaches to solving this problem in a qualitative sense? So I might try this concept or that concept, maybe we can apply a couple of these things together in a unique way.
Okay, we're doing teamwork to try and work on some of our ideas for getting this contraption up into the sky. So basically at this point we're looking at different climbing systems we might be able to use to actually make use of the power we're getting from the motor to get it to go up the tape. And to do that we're using techniques of brainstorming and bionics, which is looking at how it's done in nature and then maybe thinking about how we might relate that to a mechanical design.
So it's really just throwing all the good ideas together at the moment?
Exactly. Anything at all. Just stick it out on paper and try and get something out.
So is it that situation where you've got to throw all your best ideas in?
Yeah.
And the worst ones.
Oh yeah.
And then we see what everyone thinks.
And how's it going?
We're just about to start. Yeah, so...
We'll come back and see you in 10.
Yeah.
Got something happening.
Like these are my solar panels out like that, and it's sort of a triangle, and all the components are in here, and then there's a flat base in the bottom, and how it attaches to the antenna. I think we have good days and bad days.
Today was pretty good actually.
Yeah,
we split it up I think, which was good. Often we're as a whole group and we're trying to all work on the same thing at once, and so we've got to get every single person's opinion on every single little detail. But when we split it up today, I think it worked better.
It just takes a long time to get everyone's opinion.
Yeah.
Because we've got a bigger group as well of 6, and others usually have about 5.
The idea behind that is to really require them to pick up and use some of these project management and team management type skills, because that's part of the course, is we're teaching them about teamwork as well. You can have a conversation with 3 or 4 people. You can't have a conversation with 9 or 10 people. And so if we've put them into these larger groups so that they actually need to have an agenda for their meetings, and they need to take minutes, and they need to assign responsibilities for the different things the team has got to do. That's not quite so necessary with teams of 4.
We were just talking about the different aspects to the device, so like the power supply, the materials that we might use, and whether we're going to use a certain process. And we're discussing, like advantages and disadvantages of those.
So lots of ideas. Probably a little bit slow on the concrete design aspect, but I guess that's an indication of the difficulty of the task. There's a lot of things to consider.
And it kind of goes like
So today we were just throwing ideas out at each other, and everyone had looked into something, so we were all throwing that back and trying to figure out what we could implement into our design.
Yeah, it gives ourselves an idea of what to do next. But it's really hard because 8 people, it's very hard to find a time where everyone has a free period. So that's what makes it hard also too.
I think you can get more done if everyone goes and does their own thing and then comes back and reports to the group.
It will be constructive if later on everybody has access to all the information. Then we can get some more ideas and then try and gel them all together. So we just need to wait and see to get it up online so everyone can have a look.
That's the way you pull your information?
Yes,
so far.
I think the best way right now is to put everything online, onto WebCT, so everybody can see it. And so we know what everyone else is thinking rather than trying to meet up.
Each group has a discussion page in WebCT Vista, and that's beginning to work well. You can listen in and just see how the students are beginning to work out what it is they've got to do, how they're going to do it.
Many years ago, my wife got very angry at me when I started to take my computer to bed and reading through stuff. She was happy for me to take books and files and papers, but as long as I didn't have my laptop in bed with us, I prefer books myself. I prefer hard copy, and I'm not going to quickly change on that.
There's also the opportunity for staff to let students know things, and students let staff know how things are going or questions they've got. So we've got student staff, but there's also a separate discussion page for staff to say how things are going, hints and tips from their experience, and that's working very well as well.
I've been a fairly keen user of WebCT CE previously, and I think I'm finding Vista the same thing, only better. It's just in terms of having more control over what you're doing in Vista in terms of student groups. But the usefulness for me is the same as for WebCT CE, which is that it's just a nice way of getting all the stuff together that the students need.
I still like a little bit of both worlds, where I'm happy to put the lecture content on Vista, the projects and guidelines and stuff where they can generally load stuff down. But I'm not yet to that stage where I'm prepared to invest the time in things such as discussion groups or assignment marking or quizzes or that type of stuff on Vista. Yeah, you want to... Well, sorry, busy guys.
The thing I like about answering student queries through Vista or CE or indeed through email is just that I can do it when it's convenient to me instead of having students coming around to my office knocking on the door.
The best bit, when it works, the best bit is the student to student. There's an energy in that really is exciting.
I don't mind checking Vista over breakfast or late at night or whatever, just to... Most of the time I'm not doing it because I have to, I'm doing it because I'm just interested in seeing what's going on and, you know, whether anyone's posted anything. In a strange way, it adds a degree of intimacy to what might otherwise be a bit of an overwhelmingly large group.
And probably an immediacy too.
Yes.
You know.
And perhaps for many of the students it's a way they're familiar with communicating anyway. It's got a sort of mobile phone-ness to it in many ways.
My homepage is now WebCT. It was changed because of this course, because I was on there every day.
I think it's really good to have a web resource where everything is easily found and, you know, under those subcategories.
We had to be on there every day checking what was due, whether something was due tomorrow, or
just in case
what we were
something
even
popped up.
doing that day.
And definitely being able to submit your work online rather than having to drop assignments in to uni by hand, which some subjects still require you to do.
WebCT, the discussion forums on there, we use that constantly to communicate with each other, and it's been a real example of how important communication is between a team and when they're building a car and things like that. It's essential. When we're doing a group report, it's very hard to sit down all at the same time and write a report together, where it's easier to go off and do individual pages and post them up and then add amendments.
Other people can have a look at it and see, well, that's a little bit wrong, fix it up.
Add what they want.
And
Or also to arrange meetings or let people know where we are at certain times.
And sketches someone might have done, or like even I took a video of our little craft thing working at home, so everyone could see it. It's pretty cool.